Japan Sinks 2020 is an anime adaptation of the original disaster novel written by Sakio Komatsu in 1973. The series follows the Muto family, who are trying to escape Japan after it is struck by a powerful earthquake. They are joined by some friends and other people they meet along the way, as they all band together in order to leave Japan. The sinking Japanese archipelago make this increasingly difficult and force the family to adapt and keep moving in order to survive. What follows is a captivating and harrowing journey full of unforeseen events and circumstances, which test the characters as they travel across Japan. It starts off showing everyday life in Japan, children at school, adults going to and from their daily activities, and then quickly descends into a frantic battle for survival. The difference between what the characters deem important early on and what they quickly realise is no longer important is interesting to watch. It puts viewers into the mind frame of a person who needs to do what they have to do in order to survive, and makes viewers consider what they would do in a similar situation. Things that you would not necessarily consider are tackled, such as a person's dietary preference. Questions such as if you are a vegetarian or vegan and food is scarce, meaning you have to eat whatever you find, what would you do? There is a constant feeling of hopefulness mixed perfectly with helplessness, as the characters themselves feel, for lack of a better word, fragile. The art style, although very simplistic, can be quite beautiful at times. As an avid anime fan, I personally am not a massive fan of the art direction or the animation, as it can at times look janky, but certain scenes look nice. Due to the use of colour, and for what it is, the art style is just fine and is effective. The soundtrack is peaceful and hopeful, with a looming sense of dread constantly lurking. It helps set the pace of the show, and the characters' voiceovers are well done and believable. The characters themselves stood out the most for me. Each character has their own unique look, style and personality. They felt like real people, who had lived real lives and had real experiences. I found myself disliking one of the main characters very early on, as she constantly inadvertently resulted in a number of deaths, but gradually found myself liking her towards the end. They all have their flaws and strengths, which mould and change over time, especially the younger characters. Some are quite childish and selfish initially, not realising the full gravity of the situation, and it's interesting to see them grow and mature. The characters are all complex and have depth. For each situation that they find themselves in, the actions are somewhat relatable. Although the series only lasted for 10 episodes, I felt attached to most of the characters, even feeling emotional when certain things happened to them. One character in particular had me close to tears, as I felt they had been through so much and that they deserved to survive. Despite the premise being fairly straightforward, it constantly kept me guessing, and I could never predict what was going to happen. Even when the story seemed to tread familiar ground, it still ended up subverting my expectations. The up and down nature of the events that unfold always kept me gripped and intrigued as to what would happen next. It unfolds in a mostly natural yet unexpected way, and events happen in a way that I could rarely see coming. Admittedly, there were a few scenarios that I felt were a bit too coincidental, but other than these few instances, the story was believable. Overall, I like this series. It depicts the aftermath of an earthquake well, and made me consider all the different factors and events that may happen after a major earthquake. It takes a look at human nature and how people will do what they have to do in order to survive. It also took me on a journey that I was glad to experience, and gave me insight into the aftermath of an earthquake. As someone who has never experienced an earthquake or any real natural disaster at all for that matter, it made me emphasise and understand what those who have been through one may have experienced and, more importantly, felt. If you are looking for a light-hearted and happy watch, then stay far away from Japan Sinks 2020. But if you are looking for a gripping story full of unexpected happenings with complex, interesting characters, Japan Sinks 2020 is definitely for you. So, for those of you who have seen the anime, what did you think? What did you like and dislike about the anime? Sound off in the comments section below, and if you like this video, maybe slap that subscribe button and hit that like button, it'll be much appreciated. For more anime, game, television or movie content, check out the rest of our channel, and we will see you in the next one.